Hi guys, Red Alert Robotics here. So for this year's Red Alert on Air, we're starting off with our kickoff video. We're just going to be asking people what they think about this year's game and their perspective on how they think the season is going to go.
Hi, I'm Noah. I think the season's going to be interesting, but it's going to be fun.
So with this year, it's not as much of a game, it's much more challenge based. So we don't have to make as general of a robot. It can be much more specific and optimized for these. It's also going to be a interesting challenge this year, seeing that we have much less time than we normally do. And from spec, there's a lot more to do this year, as we basically have 5 autonomous programs to program.
I think this next season will be very interesting, as to we're bringing in a lot of new aspects such as business into the mix of robotics. We're using it more heavily than we have past years. It's kind of a bummer for some of the next seniors and stuff that they get to miss their last season and stuff, even taking into account that they missed their last season too, and this was like their last shot, so that's kind of a bummer for them, but that's what happens during a pandemic.
So this is actually my first year in FRC, and I think this year will be a lot different than it would normally be. And although I've never been in a competition or anything, it'll be a lot different not being able to go into other competitions to compete with other robots and just having to submit things virtually. So I think it'll be very interesting, just in the sense that we're not competing against other teams.
So I feel like this season is going to be good and bad, because you don't get to see all the friends you usually get to see at the competitions, and the season's going to be a lot shorter than it usually is, but it's also going to be stretched out longer because there's no competitions.
So the program is definitely going to be much different this year, because I'm going to have to juggle, on one hand, a robot for all the challenges we have to do this year, and on the other hand, a robot for competitions that we may or may not go to. And so I'm going to have to be working on getting both of these different code bases, somewhat organized, and keep on top of whether we need like a new collection system for our competition robot or a new shooter for our challenge robot.
So for me, I do mostly the operations and media side of the team. I'm excited to see how the chairman's award changes. I think doing it over Zoom will be a fun, different challenge for us. Last year we finished off the season doing it over Zoom, and it will be cool to see how we can improve our Zoom setup from the white background or to making us stand out more over the Zoom calls.
This is my first year in FRC, and I'm on the operations team. It'll be interesting to see how things are different from normal, even though I really have no baseline for normal.
So I know the season's going to be way different from usual years, and I know it gives us a lot more opportunities to practice our own designs that we want to do that usually would be harder at in-person competitions and such. And with the new innovation challenge and the at home, we have so many more opportunities that we can do with the game design and all of that, and it'll be much more challenging as a team for us to do.
For this season, I think it'll be a little bit different, and I think the challenges will help us try some things a little bit different than we have in previous years.
So this year, as we all know, it's a little different than years past. I do think the challenges are going to present some unique challenges, in that there's different modes that the robot really needs to operate in versus normal competitions where it's all kind of one congruent system, such as not necessarily requiring the intake and the shooter to be tied together. I do like the greater focus on autonomous things. As someone who mentors the programming students, I think that will allow them to show off some of their skills and some of the things that we don't usually get to show off as much in just like the 20 or 30 seconds of autonomous.
And this has been Red Alert on Air.